Om Shanti, everybody. Okay, so I thought today's class, the wonder of accepting myself as I am, is a topic that I started writing about it, and I thought this is just huge topic. So, I was thinking, who is doing the accepting, and who is myself, and what is right and what is wrong, and what's the wonder, and the whole thing is the wonder of accepting myself as I am. It's a huge, huge loaded question, isn't it, when you think so much involved in that. So, and experiencing the wonder of what each one of us has a different wonder, isn't it? So it's like the wonder of accepting myself as I am. That means right as you are right now, sitting here and looking and experiencing, listening, and just accepting yourself. It doesn't matter what you're doing or whatever you've done, doesn't matter. And we've never done anything wrong, we've never done anything right, but we've had lots of experiences. Because this is a life of experience, this whole world that we're in. Just think what everyone's experiencing at the moment. So there's wars here and there and all sorts of things going on. And even in our own home, or wherever you live and within yourself, whether you're working or not working, and what we become dependent on. Did I eat enough today, or did I eat too much? Or what sort of food am I eating that's good or bad for me? And all this sort of stuff. There's so much stuff. But we just have to chop through all that, isn't it? So we have to decide for myself what I want. And it's your decision. It's like you can listen to all the Murali's, and you can listen to all the knowledge from all around the world. There's zillions and tons of knowledge and books and people doing seminars and Zooms here, there, and everywhere. So it's just an ocean. There's such an ocean that you have to just think, my God, what do I think and believe, Am I just stuck in my own box? Is it? So if I've never done anything wrong and I've never done anything right, and this world is just for experiencing, it's like a huge classroom. So what's the problem? You don't have to worry, is it? Whatever you're doing is perfect, absolutely perfect. You can never be anywhere you're not supposed to be. If you think, oh, I should be somewhere else in the world at this time, I'd be much better off. No, it doesn't work that way. You're in the perfect place. So, and we'll be traveling along this so-called spiritual journey. And it's like, when do I get to the end of my spiritual journey? It's like when you feel you're at the end of it, that's it. Then you can get on with doing other things. Some people make so much effort on their spiritual journey or so-called spiritual journey, but in the end they find out there's no such thing. I mean, we always think we're making so much effort. I remember when I was young, you made effort day and night. Oh, not even when I'm younger and getting older. So, but now I'm starting to get it all together. So the whole thing is it's up to the individual. What you think is right for you, and that's right. You don't even have to think about anything. So it is right already. And that's so beautiful, isn't it? So, and when you see the wonders of yourself, so the wonder of accepting myself. So when you find the wonders of you, that's the wonders you're going to be experiencing. So what is your wonder, or what is not your wonder? So every one of us in this whole world, no matter who we are, what we are, we're all an angel. Every single human being is an angel. It's just that some angels have been here for a long time and some not so long. And some are experiencing all sorts of things. So it's all about their experience, isn't it? So, and we're having our experience, and it's my own personal experience, isn't it? So sometimes we want to tell people about what I'm experiencing, but they can't comprehend it because it's your experience. You're trying to tell them your experience, and you expect them to know your experience. Well, unfortunately, they just say, "Oh, well, that's a pretty cool, isn't it?" And then that's all. They just sort of make you feel happy, but ultimately, no one really knows your experience, and your experience is perfect for you. So it's not going to make any difference whether you're going to heaven or hell and all that sort of stuff. That's another thing that's influenced us through thousands of years, like cultures and different belief systems and God knows what. So we've done the whole lot. So it's not that we haven't done anything. That's become our wisdom. Whatever we have done becomes our wisdom. It's such a beautiful thing, and all our emotions. So how many times our father's gone off to war and got killed, and mum and dad and the kids are at home by themselves to look after themselves for the rest of their lives until the boy grows up, and then he goes to war and gets killed. So it's just how it is, vicious cycle. That's in the old days, but it could be still the same today in some places, isn't it? They just look in Ukraine and all those places, they just take all the young people now, they put them in the front line. They call it the meat grinder. So as soon as you go, they go and kidnap the kids off the street, anyone who looks like 18 or more, and chuck them into the army, put them up front, and next thing they're dead. So, but that's all part of this world we're living in. So, and it's like we can't say that's good or bad. We can say that's their life. That's because they've lived many lives before that, maybe. And whatever you're going to experience, someone might go in there and might live till the war finishes and then they're fine. But some people can die on the first day. And it's the same in a lot of places. Sometimes you might move anywhere. You might be living in a place and things are happening all around you, but you're safe. Why is that? So I'm pretty good. I'm okay here. I might be living in a really rough place, but everyone seems to get on with me okay. So because I'm not having any waste thoughts about them and I don't have any accounts with them, see? But people can just move in beside you and next thing they get their house robbed, their car stolen, rocks thrown in through the window, whatever. All sorts of things are going on. And but what they're doing is they're judging people, they're thinking about them and having fear, and because whatever you fear, you attract, you see. So you're not accepting yourself because they don't know who themselves are, who accepting myself. What is myself? I'm this divine being. So where does fear come from? Fear comes from my past, doesn't it? So, and in this world today, many things happen to many people, so they don't want, maybe just one thing happens or two things happen to two people and it's their accounts, but then suddenly everyone fears. They all start taking their kids to school in the car and now the roads are all blocked up at that time of the day. But it's just hysteria. It's like, and the people they say you can't trust anyone, but it would have been the same years ago. I mean, it's just that it never happened so much because population was a lot less and people were more, I think, a little bit connected. So, because I think we would see people when I was growing up, you'd see people across the road, you still wave to them. You wouldn't even know them, but you still give them a wave, it's just because you can, and just saying hi, But these days, people don't even know the next door neighbours. I mean, we don't even know ours. We might say hello or something. That's one down the back and one at the side, but the other one across the road, we got a double driveway, but we'd never, we might just, if I walk past, I'm going for a walk, I might say hello, but no one ever knows anybody. So sometimes we do things and people appreciate it. So, but if they know they can trust you, we're all our people, each side, they know you're not going to harm them. So they feel secure, But if there's a big a motorbike gang moves in next door and, and the whole thing is they start worrying, what day they're going to get to sleep. So, but anyway, that's the whole thing. But you have to accept yourself. And it's like people say, oh, sometimes the next door neighbours make a lot of noise. I says, look, I was young once. I know what it's like, when young people don't want to have things loud and noisy, But if you complain, next thing you got rocks landing on your roof, or maybe the odd one goes through your window. So you have to be careful what you say, and what you do, because people, you don't know what their state of well-being is at the moment. So, and that's why we don't have to worry about anyone's well-being except our own security is being in a good state of consciousness. And that's the wonders of accepting myself as I am. And once we can accept myself, that I am this wonderful being of beautiful energy, my body is my instrument for experiencing through. So I need to look after it and treat it well. But it's not me. If someone come and killed it, say for instance, run it over or whatever. So the whole thing is, it's not that I'm dead. Okay, the vehicle is that I was in, but I'm still alive, much alive actually. I'm probably more alive than I was. So and if I haven't finished my job of learning here, then I have to come back and take another birth. So it would have been a male in this one, and the next birth I'll be a female. It just keeps changing like that. At the most, you'd have two males and and two females, or something like that. That's the maximum generally. Daddy was telling us. I noticed all my brother and my mother. My mother is now in a male body. My mother and my brother is now in a female body. So that just shows you like changing. And you'll notice most of the daddies, they were born into male bodies. So I've known anyone when they talk to them, they're all in a male body. So, and Sonny Boy who left the body here, he got into a female body. So it just shows you that's just how it keeps balance, So that's how the soul keeps a balance. Otherwise, it'll be too much masculine or too much feminine, So the thing is that everyone we see in front of us, oh, you've been signed out of your account by another device. Oh, you're still there? Everyone's still
Voice,
there?
yes, voice is coming clear.
Oh, okay. Someone said you've been signed out. I thought, oops, what's that? Okay. So that's okay. We're back. Yeah. So you have to be very careful on how you judge people and think people, because when you know myself, you don't have to worry about anyone else because you will be automatically affecting everyone around you. You've got that beautiful radiance or resonance that's all around you, so you'll be affecting people that way, but you're not making purposely thinking about it. It just happens. So you don't go and send a whole lot of love and light to that motorbike gang that's just moved in next door. They'll come and give you a hard time because it's the opposite energy, isn't it? So Because you're not going to make them peaceful by doing that, but by doing just loving yourself and sending that beautiful energy. You don't send it, I mean, just radiating that beautiful energy, that resonance, then they won't have the feeling of coming and disturbing you, you know. They'll be just living their life. It might be pretty rowdy and noisy, but but the thing is, they're not going to harm you, you know. And it's like people that fear, especially security, is probably the biggest thing in the world today. It used to be lack of wealth or lack of abundance or something, but now everyone wants security, you know. So, and that's because they lack their own understanding of themselves, that they are their own security. And I was talking to an electrician one day, and he was saying his van was parked right under where he was sleeping. And in the middle of the night, these people broke into his place, you know, into the garage, drove his van out with the alarm going and everything. They didn't care about the alarm. They just drove away with his van. He never got it back. And he had like thousands of dollars worth of tools and equipment and gear in it. So they don't care when a thief has something to do. He's got you sorted out, and if your karma is like that, then they're onto it. They're onto it, you know. And there's no need to think about those things because that brings fear, you know, and that when fear is there, and that's what Bob was saying the other day, wasn't he, that you can't take, if you still have fear in your soul, you know, in the samskaras of the soul, then you won't go through that gateway, you know. You'll have to visit Dharamraj, he said. So you have to deal with it one way or another. Because fear is, you've created the fear. You maybe we've been to so many wars, we might have been burned at the stake, we could have been murdered and beaten up and all sorts of things, you know. That's why we have fear. That's part of that's what we've taken on board through our journey through life, many, many lifetimes. And so then how do we get rid of it, you know? So, and that's through understanding it, accepting this is what I have, you know, it's not what I need now, you know. So then the soul can start to wisdomize all your past experiences. So it's such a beautiful thing, you know, that you don't actually you can't clear all that stuff, you know. That's the soul's job. So all you got to do is start to love yourself, you know, in the sense that accept yourself. Oh, well, I am what I am. This is me from my last thousands of years of births and all the one after another I've had in all sorts of ways, and I've done this to people and they've done that to me, and but now I'm finished. You have to decide whether you want to finish with it. And if you want to hang on to all the negative stuff, then you've got a problem in the sense that when you leave your body, that's going to go with you, you know. And where can you go if you're full of fear and guilt and shame and all those things? You won't be able to come again to the Copper Age, you know, or maybe even the Iron Age. So, and that's why I said you have to be clean and clear so that when you leave this body, you just salute Dharamraj on your way through. But the idea is to become free now while you're living in this body today and accepting that I haven't done anything wrong and I haven't done anything right. I've had lots of experiences. I've created lots of aspects. See, what actually happens, we keep creating every thought we have is like creating a new life form. And all these life forms are out there. We might be wondering, oh, I wonder what the future is going to be like. So by thinking that, we've created a life form to go out into the future and see what's coming up. And of course, when it's coming back, we think, oh, I'm being attacked by something, you know, some evil spirit, but it's your own creation. And that's what people don't realize. In fact, some of them get really upset, especially if you created one, say, 500 years ago, and it's been trying to get back in for 400 years, you know, and you think it's some evil spirit, but it's your creation, it's your child, and it wants to come home, but you won't let it come home. Then it gets really upset, you know, they really get a bit growly. So that's called the dark aspects that we've created. So they all have to come home, so we have to accept whatever I've created in my past births, many, many births, see? And that's part of myself, is my creations. So it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? When you think the wonders of accepting myself. And it's such a deep, deep thing. I'm thinking, my God, how am I going to, that's too deep, for a lot of people that, because to understand all of those things is not easy because we keep blaming everyone else but myself, for whatever situation I'm in. But it's actually my very own creation. And if you don't like it, finish it. Start a new one that you like. That's easy, isn't it? But we're so attached to dependency, so maybe we're dependent on someone for their love because you don't love yourself, so, or we're dependent on, say, superannuation coming in so I can keep living. It's like I'm not able to work like I was before, but I paid all my taxes, so it's part of your income, isn't it? It's like what we do. That's how New Zealand operates. But things are going to change, and the whole world is changing. It's not just here in New Zealand. We're last to experience most things, and we're quite lucky actually in New Zealand because we've only got a 5 million population, which is not much. And I think we've got 1.8 in Auckland, so nearly 1.9 or whatever it is. But it's disappearing quickly, going to Australia, so they can have us all, look after us over there. But that's what happens, There's people think it's greener on the other side of the fence, but it's actually everything is relative. So that's what I found. I mean, when I was young, I took my family to Australia, so I could see what people are doing here because you're better off. But there's a cost for that. So whatever the cost is, it's up to the individual, isn't it? But I was really happy when I come back because it's such a beautiful life here, It's like living in heaven just about, but it was so slow. I mean, it was like I moved out of Sydney and come here. It was like moving into slow motion and to green, green, green. And my eyes, I couldn't handle it just about. And the sun, my God, just it burned me up. So it was quite different in that way. It's a very pure place here in comparison to a lot of places over there. But there again, if you're into the money making, then that's different, because that's part of the one of the problems that people have. They want more than what they need, And how much do you need? Do you need multi-millions to exist on this world, or and that's part of security. If you have too much, then you need security to look after your multi-millions, and that takes all your money away as well. So it's a real game, but people need to look at how much do they need and what do you need. I think they did something in America they said the perfect amount of money is to have like 250,000 in your bank account, a house, a car, and that's it. So it's not too much, just a simple car, a simple house, and then you can live a life free, that's of no great burden, you'll have enough money to live on and to do whatever you need to do, go on holidays or whatever you want to do. So it's just like you're keeping that balance. And a lot of people want to just keep working and working and working until they get so much money, and in the end they die. So someone else is going to have a lot of fun with that. So it won't be you because you'll be taking another birth somewhere. See. And there's like in the past, you had a lot of slavery and dictators. I was watching one of these guys who was a dictator. He was supposed to be a dictator. They said he was pretty bad, but he was a pretty amazing guy. Napoleon. That movie was like a 3.5 hour movie. So it took me ages to watch. I used to watch in about half-hour sections. But my God, it's like what an amazing guy. When I don't know, but he was like 3 million people got killed in his wars or something, or more than that even. And all these people had it because it's all based on fact, you see, who died and all that stuff. So it was such an amazing game, and I'm thinking, my God, all these people were dying like and all those who were against him, and they were trying to conquer him in these wars. But he was so good and so tactical that they couldn't beat him. But anyway, he just died a natural death, and but he beat all the Russians and the English and all those countries all around him there. And some of his allies were there, but they used to use thousands of people at a time. Like 20,000 people will have died in that one big battle, and you think, my God. And just think that energy that would be there, and what that those people would be carrying around with them in the next birth. So so that's the prime of all those people. It's the prime of the crops. Of the country. All these people dying. And young people. But it's all part of the game. You see, it's not there's a right and a wrong. All these people are learning, and until they decide that they don't want war anymore, they had enough. But a lot of people become dependent on being in the army or navy or whatever it was and getting paid, and they don't have to worry. So they've been looked after till the day they get blasted out of the ocean or blasted out of the trench or wherever they are with their horses and cavalry and the infantry or whatever. So until they die, then they take another birth, and they're usually born into some family they join the army again because it's in their samskaras, you see, it's in their nature. So accepting all of this that's within us, and they're all there, all those births after birth after birth is there. Because I've experienced quite a few of my births and past births, and you can just see the samskaras. Actually, I've had some good births, but some of them are not so good. But he left the body. I remember once one birth I had, because I used to go to different places and learn all these things. One of my births was that I was a little girl and I was walking across the bridge, and that was way back, I don't know, 1400s or something. I'm born in a very wealthy family, but I was running across this bridge and I tripped over my dress, fell over the side and busted my back and died on the rocks down below. And I think, oh, that was a bit of a waste. But the funny thing is, you could see it, you're above it, and you think, oh, that's a waste. That would have been a good birth, because it was in a very wealthy family and they had everything. But it wasn't to be, you see. So then you just go and take another birth. And yeah, it's been so many, quite a few have died. So suddenly, once I got burnt to death in a hut and all these sort of different things. But it's quite interesting when you watch. Once I got drowned, my birth before this one was I was drowned in the ocean on a boat, and it fell over the side, and I managed to get onto another boat, but it didn't have any oars on it, like I said, and got washed up against the rocks, and when I left the body, I could see my body down below in the weeds, and I was thinking they're just floating away. It's just that's how it is. I didn't think, oh well, didn't cry or anything. I was just gone. So you're just going on to your next birth, and here I am with all those samskaras. But it's really, really interesting. So I've had many births in many situations, but what we create now is so important, So that's guaranteeing that I've cleared up everything of my past. And that's what Bubba's trying to get us to do, because now we have to get rid of our baggage. But it's just a matter of saying, letting it go. You don't have to do it. You don't have to beat yourself up and do 300 hours yoga or anything. It's allowing yourself, your perfect, beautiful, angelic self to emerge, because that's who we are before we started. But now we've got many, many experiences that's the soul's job, is to wisdomize that. You just have to allow the soul in. And that's what the soul presence program I'm doing. And that is to allow your soul to start, and for you to start the human, and you, the human and the soul, starting to merge together, So the soul is aware of the human, and the human is aware of the soul. And your wisdom is that light body that's there with you, So it's the light body that's communicating with the human, actually. The soul doesn't communicate with the human, but the soul is a tool for consciousness to operate through the body. So, and it's like the light body is there, which is called you're the master. That's called the master. That's what Baba keeps talking about. You are the master, and that's what the master is. It's your light body within the human. And when we're practicing soul presence, that means you're experiencing your presence as a soul, as a master inside the human. So you're a human. You're not a human with a master. You're a master with the human, you know. So it's like you're the driver driving the car. And that's what it's about. And our experience now is so that the consciousness, which is my original, eternal, perfect, pure self, wants to experience what it's like to be in a human. And that's when I'm free of all this waste and this rubbish, and I've this light body that's here as the master, then that's what we call soul consciousness. And that's when consciousness can operate via the soul through the master and experience the sunlight or breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breathing. Just it always wanted to know who am I and what am I. And now it's getting to know that I am this consciousness and I can experience this. It's taken squillions of years, I don't know how long, but anyway, here we are. So the master, I am the master. See, only you know that you are the master. That's no one else has to worry about it. If you say you're the master, you are the master, you know. You don't have to have any certificates. We're all masters. Like Baba said the other day in the Murali, didn't he? He says, you are my children, so you're masters. You have the keys to everything. And people think, oh, because of all our past training by all the other religions, think, oh my God, how can I be a God's child, Or I don't feel worthy. All these things come up, but Baba keeps reminding us, this is who you are. You're not someone else or anything else. You are first a master, and you're entitled to everything that Baba has, There's nothing that you can't have. You can have sorrow even if you want. You have heaps of it. We've always had heaps of it. If you want a heap more, you're welcome. No one's going to stop you. Baba doesn't interfere with what you want. If you want health, wealth, and happiness, he doesn't interfere with that. It's yours, This is our creation, what we're creating now. We're creating our divine self now. So you have that divinity. So when we shine our light, when we feel that I, the master, inside this human, am driving this vehicle around and experiencing, going for a walk, seeing the sunset, enjoying a nice cup of coffee with your feet up, having a cream cake. So it's really cool, So that's the consciousness of you. It's not about wealth. The wealth is natural. It's part of you. If you are a master, how can you not be wealthy? So wealth is whatever you need. It's not having $1 billion in the bank or 1 million or whatever. It's about whatever you need, it is there for you, That's wealth, because you don't want to have so much wealth that you've suddenly got to hire in, all these security guards and all these sort of things that are going to protect you, and someone they got to protect your kids because someone might kidnap your kids and then go for a ransom and all this sort of stuff that's going on. So it's what is freedom, So accepting myself, like when you can accept yourself as you are, and you can even be living under a bridge if you want. It doesn't, you can still be a master, but you can be living wherever you want. Or you can be living in a mansion and you can have the best car or the worst car. It's your choice, whatever you want. And if you're just there radiating love and light, your energy is radiating, then naturally the universe will be looking after you. It's like a natural energy. You will be attracting whatever you need. And if you allow your soul to organize everything, you won't have to worry about anything. I've experienced once just spending some money on a few things And then suddenly that same amount of money suddenly emerged from someone else, it just came. Here, I want to give you this. So there you go. So whatever it is, it's just a natural flow, isn't it? So I'm flowing that money out and the money is flowing back in. So you don't have to worry. You can never lose what you're giving because it's part of you and it's in your field. We're in a field, our field. And if we have wealth in our field, then we will be attracting wealth, isn't it? So you're giving, we're helping Baba to sustain the centre, to giving donation and to whatever we're doing, then that's going to be coming back. You allow it to come back to you. And that's just, you don't have to beg it to come back. You don't even have to think about it, actually. It will come back to you. And that's just the natural law of cause and effect. If you start thinking that I need this, I need that, that means you'll never have it. So you need good health. And that's the problem, So when you start thinking you need it, who's thinking? Is it the little I, isn't it? So that little I, not the big I. Not the thing is that the master and the soul, they'll give you the master wants to live such a good life because he wants the consciousness to experience the best of the best. Because that is coming for, the soul and the consciousness. The soul is a tool for consciousness, and consciousness who's who we are. And when consciousness comes into the body, we call body consciousness, but still that's the consciousness is experiencing the body. That's it, and it's experiencing whatever it is that you're doing and going through and it's observing what others are doing and going through. And so that's why there's no right and no wrong. There's just experiencing. And that experiencing will be going into your wisdom if you want. Actually, only you don't have, that's not going to happen if you don't want it to happen. If you have fear, it can't happen. It's not possible. If you have hatred or jealousy and all these things, and the thing is, nothing can happen that way because you're still hanging on to these bags of the old world. Because now we're going to have the new dimension of self-love, pure love, unadulterated love, because actually in the end it's all about love actually. I mean, everyone loves love. Remember that song, was it? Everybody loves love. But anyway, but that's ultimately, but it's not an impure love, it's a pure love that's there to reflect my true self. And it'll be a reflecting both physically as well as spiritually. So, and it's like when you look into a mirror, you just see a reflection of your physical. But when you look into the mirror of your soul, into the depths of my experiences, then you'll see the great master. You'll see how amazing you really are. So, and that's what we're doing with the soul presence. Eventually we'll be going and you'll be able to see your real true self. And you're going to be amazed. You'll be honest, wow, am I really that great? Or say, yep, that's how great you are. So, and when we can actually accept ourselves, our greatness, our beauty, our wonder, then once you can accept all that, your wonder, you accepted myself, then as I am, whose I am that I am is my consciousness. When I can accept my consciousness visiting me, which is what created me anyway, what I call me, the human, and the soul and the light body, all these things is my consciousness has created all those through energy. Because that's what it is, because consciousness creates energy and energy serves consciousness. So the first thing they created was soul. So soul is a tool for consciousness. And now consciousness has the tool, and now through the many, 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 many experiences of the human, which has created the light body, the master body, which is the soul has when that human is ready to let go and say, look, now I've had enough of this earth. I want to become free. I'm sick of dying in all these wars and working hard all my life and becoming wealthy or poor or whatever. I'm sick of all that. Then the soul can start to say, okay, let's wisdomize and let's create the master. The master is all your wisdom of all your past births. Just think all your past births, how much wisdom would be in that. And this is the body that's been chosen, the one you're in now, your final body in this world of hell that we're in. So after this body, there won't be any more sorrow. That's pretty cool when you think, and you're going to become an enlightened master. In fact, you're not going to become, you are an enlightened master. You just have to allow yourself to be, you already are this. You're not, it's just we've only come to experience ourselves becoming an enlightened master because it happened so fast. We wondered, oh, how come I'm an enlightened master now? So let's go back and experience it. So we come back just to experience it. Oh, so this is what it was like. Wow, it's pretty cool. So you have a day of beauty, you feel, wow, that was such an amazing day. I just kept breathing, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm thanking my body. Thanks, body, giving me another day and this wonderful body. So, in fact, I've made this special little gift for everybody. You might not see it, but anyway, you can't see it there. But anyone who comes to the centre will be getting one of these. So I've specially printed them. One is a blessing, but it's a blessing of soul presence. And the other one on the other side is a daily body presence ritual. And it's just appreciating in the morning. When you first wake up, you put your hands on your chest and you just, thank your body for allowing you another day. And also you do a few deep breaths and you feel the golden, beautiful energy flowing into the body and into every cell in your body, like sometimes we do. So, and then at lunch, and then in midday, you just drink some water with that knowing consciousness and looking out at some nature somewhere or feeling something special and sipping that drink and smiling. So you're hydrating yourself in the midday. And in the afternoon, this is the part I like, is you got to put on some nice, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but you put on some nice music and you start dancing to that, just for a little bit. So you move the body and you just enjoy yourself. So you're starting to live life. So you're in present. So when you're dancing and you play some nice music, even you're dancing by yourself, but you're not. You're dancing with every cell in your body, and you're dancing and you're making them so happy because you're moving the body. In the evening, you're just thanking your body for the work today, and you breathe and release all your energies, from into the earth. Any negative energy, you just release it through the breath. And there you have it. And that's just been in the presence. That's how hard work we got to do, just breathing. So it's really cool actually, but I gave some gifts last weekend. So I had these specially printed. And so anyone who comes, and you can, if you need to take one and give them as a gift, it's really beautiful. So it's a lovely gift to give. Only for those who appreciate it. No need to give gifts to anyone who wouldn't appreciate it. So it's nice to give to someone who would appreciate it. So because otherwise you'll find them all in the bin. That's we used to do public programs years and years ago. We had all this material printed, this, that, the next thing, and you go around, you give them like a bag, That's like they used to go to different, we'd have a program, say, at the university, and there'd be a whole lot of other people there, different organisations. But you go around and all the rubbish bins, you see all your stuff in the rubbish bin, you think people just take them and then chuck them in the bin. So I thought, wow, so you got to be careful who you give stuff to. Otherwise it's just a waste, isn't it? People think, oh, I have this, you'll need it, but that's the last thing they want. You have to be, it's like giving the course, you don't give the course to anybody. I mean, not everyone deserves the course, you know. We think we have to save them, but you don't have to save anybody. Just save yourself. If they want to do the course, they'll come and do the course because they want to, you know. You're not going to go run around catching butterflies or anything and put them in a pin in a big cage. We're not doing things like that for people. All we're doing is shining our light and letting them feel our resonance. So that energy will be the attracting part. Since we're doing that soul presence, the energy in the center is just really incredible. And it's like also in that Merly room, it's really changed big time. You know, you can feel the people now. When they come in, they go, wow, it's really nice in here, you know. They might be just visiting with their mum and dad. They come from India or something. So, and their mum and dad might be BKs. Quite a few people like that these days, just coming over and they visit the centre just for 5 minutes or something. And anyway, but they really enjoy the vibrations. So it's all about being presence, you know, and resonance. So that's what it's about. These are new words. Well, I never used those words before until now, you know. It's kind of interesting. Right through the last over 40 years and the Brahma Kumaris, and I've never used those two words ever until now. So it's just interesting, isn't it? Now they should emerge because now's the time where we have to be in presence and we have to have our resonance that's there, you know, and that's our final stage, you know. When I say it's just a word. It doesn't mean you know. It just means I'm saying I know, really. So it's such a beautiful experience to be now at this time. So, and it's something to really appreciate. And what are we doing for Baba? That's going to be even more like before we were getting an experience, but now if you're doing it in that soul presence and your resonance, that's going to be just amazing, you know. It's going to be, you can just see the build-up of this energy now. It's been building and building and building. That's why you don't have to worry about anyone, any other BKs. You don't have to worry about them. Just be yourself and enjoy yourself because this is incredible time, you know. Accept whatever you have done. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to accept it. Just say, "Oh, well, that was past. Now I'm me now." That's why I said you can't do anything about your past. You're not going to have to suffer for it. You don't need to suffer for it because past is past. It was just a lesson. So if you only got 70% marks when you're getting your degree, you don't cry over the 30% that you didn't get. So, and that's what it's about, you know. So you don't have to worry about it. It's just marks that we didn't quite get, or it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about marks here. Here, you're just being yourself, full stop. And you don't have to have any more karma, but you can have as much as you want. It's up to you. We're free because once you've reached that state of karmati, which is we are, if you want, it's all about what you believe and if you have any fear or any doubt, if you have any lack of, you know, good feelings for yourself, you feel shame or guilt or anything that you're doing, then you're going to have a bit of trouble, you know. When you leave the body, you're going to have all of that with you, you know. So you have to go through this big washing machine and it's got a big wringer on the end and they squeeze it all out of you. So that's if you want it that way. But anyway, it's just so much, you know, we've been led to believe so many things because of cultures and religions and like even we're a religion and we have belief factors and people get a bit carried away and they think we're just like the Christians or just like someone else, some other religion or some other Buddhist or Hindu thing where you're going to go to heaven or hell and all that sort of stuff. Just think, you know, what makes sense to you, you know. So if you want to follow all that stuff, you can, you know. It's might not be for everyone, but it's up to you. You do what you feel in your heart. And the heart is the soul, actually, what's in your soul. Listen to your heart, you know, because don't listen to your head or your mind. It's your heart that counts. Okay. So on that point, on that heartly point, we will finish this and we'll just have a little bit of meditation. So just feel that feeling, that just feel in your heart when you breathe in, just feel that golden light that we say when we wake up in the morning. Just feel that energy flowing in through your nose and down through into your lungs, into your heart, and all this beautiful golden light that's going around. That's your light body. See, now we don't need chakras. We just have this beautiful golden light body, which is called the master. So the master is the one that's within this body. So the human won't become enlightened or perfect, but it can become very cooperative and very loving because you will be loving it and giving it this energy. So it will becoming so loving and cooperative with you, and that'll make, the whole journey will be so much easier because you're loving your body as it is, and you'll be loving yourself, as the light master. You don't have to experience, having to conquer anything. You already are perfect. That's what you got to remember. When we're soul conscious or body conscious, we're consciousness. So just experience that I'm in this body now, and my light body is here within me, I'm looking through these eyes as the master. Baba tells us all the time we're the master. Now be the master. Baba wants us just to be the master. So that's it. Say, I am the master. Don't worry about all these things in your head. And say, oh, don't be so stupid, just you're not worthy of that. You just tell it, you go and play over here, I'm doing this, this is who I am. And in the end, your mind will say, oh, that looks pretty interesting. You see, it's going to be as interested as the master is, you see, because master's going to take over its job. It'll say, hey, you're in the back seat now, mate. I'm driving this vehicle. So, and the vehicle is your body, and the body is so important. It's going to be fueled nicely and cleaned and looked after and kept shiny, and it'll be fed nice food, good fuel like that. So you don't have to worry about anything. So the body will feel comfortable with the master in it. You might feel a bit woozy a few days because it's such a big change to have the master inside the human that you might even think you're forgetting things and forget your keys or do all sorts of things happen. But that's just an adjustment from the old way. And now the master is taking over, so it'll take a little bit of adjustment. But don't worry about it. Everyone's going through that at the moment. So just keep smiling. Keep shining that beautiful light because we are the beautiful masters, every one of us. Okay, so Om Shanti, everybody. Om Shanti.